What are you guys doing here? You know, I was under the impression that I was going to get the bar to myself for a little while this afternoon. But you know what? I can roll with it. Hello, Malcolm.
Hello.
It's nice to see you. Still at the bar. Still at the bar.
I know. I'm going to need the bar today.
You see who's on my left?
I see him.
That's
Equals P.
Lemonade.
Equals P.
One of these days we'll have to talk a little bit with Lemonade about how his name transitioned from Equals P to Lemonade. But we can sort of assume that Lemonade equals P.
that's what Teapot told us.
That's how it goes. So it's not a regular episode, Malcolm. We've got 2 coasters in front of us.
I know, this is new.
This is good.
What type of rubbish is this?
This is a whole new concept.
All right.
That we brought our friend Lemonade on set. Lemonade, it's really great to have you here. It's your first time.
It is my first time.
Actually, it is his first time.
Yep. And have you seen some of the episodes?
I have watched many of the episodes.
Yep. Does it seem like we're doing okay conceptually?
It's been a fantastic job.
That's awesome. We really appreciate the feedback.
He's still paying you $60, isn't he?
He's in debt. He's in hock. He owes me. Now, Lemonade, are you a whiskey man in general, like a Scotch whiskey man?
I can't say that per se, but I've been learning through your tutelage.
Oh,
okay. That's a fair answer.
He's had a couple drams over the last 2 decades.
He's always participated in the New Year's
never been
Eve
scared. Never been scared.
Yep. So, Lemonade, the good news is tonight you're going to be part of something for the first time. Malcolm, you'll see the 2 coasters.
I do. And
now,
I was briefed before, so I do sort of.
So before the show started today, everybody, Malcolm went and picked a bottle that he thinks pairs well with either an orange chocolate, a blueberry chocolate, a sea salt chocolate, some salted nuts, or an 18-month cheddar. I also did the same. You and I should feel good about our choice and our pairing.
Very much so.
We're going to let Lemonade sort of be the tiebreaker in this experience.
Okay.
So this is the first time. This is almost like a head-to-head in our whiskey evolution. So that's exciting. So we're going to pull our bottles up and let everybody know why we picked a bottle and what we're thinking. We're going to get them into a glass and breathing. And then I actually have a question for you, Lemonade. Is that fair?
Sounds fair.
Now, are you feeling any pressure being the tiebreaker on set?
No.
Okay. Well, Malcolm, we have a salted chocolate, an orange infused, a blueberry infused, salted nuts, and an 18-month Australian cheddar. What bottle have you picked to pair with what and why? And I don't know what he's chosen, everybody. This was done in secret, and so I'm curious as to what bottle Malcolm's going to pull out.
So I've been wanting to do this since we pulled this. I think this was season 2. It could have been season 1, but it was an eye-opener for both of us to a massive degree.
All right.
And the reason I'm picking this is because I believe the Ardbeg Perpetuum would pair perfectly with the salted chocolate. And you can't even argue that fact. You can't even argue
So
that fact.
I recall the Perpetuum. I believe it's a 2017 vintage, if I recall correctly. Let's see, 1815 to 2015 is the 200-year anniversary, so this is actually 15. So this is a 2015 vintage. This is really a once-in-a-lifetime whiskey, a 47.4 ABV, and I recall this as being liquid chocolate cake. It's a good call, Malcolm.
I think it was an excellent call. And I've been meaning to do it for a while.
And I really appreciate that you went with the salted chocolate.
Correct. To bring out the C.
Yep.
And bring out more of that chocolatey.
Right, because we have an Islay, which is a notorious seaside region, well known for some of their beach campfire flavors. And so this salted chocolate should go well. Lemonade. Is it, as not a whiskey man, is it interesting to hear us talk about whiskey in a sense of a liquid chocolate cake? Is that like something you would automatically assume or go to in your brain when we talk about Scotch? Liquid chocolate cake?
No, that's a new idea to me.
Yeah. But you'd agree, Mal, liquid chocolate cake?
I know, that's why I picked it.
So the 2015 Perpetuum, not available anymore, 47.4 ABV. Salted chocolate.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you like to know what I've chosen?
Yes, I would.
Let's see. It's down here somewhere. Ah, there it is. I also went for the chocolate range.
Oi!
So I went for a 60.7 ABV Aberlour A. And I'm thinking a lot about the orange infused chocolate for this sherry cast, sherry finished, cask strength, non-chill filtered, bottled straight from the cask, Highland single malt. So lemonade, in this case, what we have is a sherry finish, which is well known for some deep citrusy flavors with hints of chocolate. And we have this high ABV, which should result in a wonderful pairing with some dark chocolate.
Well
Agreed,
played.
yeah?
Well played.
Yeah. So for Try Before We Die's first head-to-head,
It's a chocolate showdown.
it's a chocolate off. It's a chock-off.
It's a Chocoloff. and actually,
Don't play with that anymore.
that's an impressive choice, actually.
It really is. I'm super excited. So what I'm going to do is get some glasses poured, capped, and then I have a question for lemonade.
Okay.
Is that fair?
Yeah, that's fair.
All right. So we'll get these Aberlours going. I think we're going to see a real difference in coloration in these two liquors too.
Yeah, well played. And I will have to say, if I was the better man at this moment in time, I'm going to have to give you the edge.
With the pairing choice?
Because I think, based on my knowledge of Lemonade's palate, I think that maybe...
Can I tell you something? Didn't play a role.
Really?
Didn't play a role. Entirely about the pairing choices in front.
All right. Because I think that will play to his strengths. But we'll find out.
Lemonade's a competition man.
He is a competition man.
Yeah. And so, though we have this green bottle, I feel like we're going to get a much clearer pour.
Did you know?
Want me to?
Yeah. Oh, well played.
It's
That
like the
low
guy
sound.
at the back of the high school football field coming on, just missed his beat. All right, let's see if we've got what color we're coming out with. Oh, so much clearer. So what we do, lemonade, is we cap them to trap the aromas, but you've noticed maybe with your ears, there's play. Mm-hmm. So the idea is to let the whiskey expand in the glass here at the bulb, compress here, breathe a little. We'll let them sort of acclimate. When we come to the nosing, we pull the lids and we get that first explosion to talk about what we experience. But while that happens, I've had a long-standing question for you that I have fumbled perhaps in an earlier episode about a paintball artifact. Because you, sir, have been a member of the paintball team, pub crawling everybody. We've referenced it in the past. We've done some artifacts. Lemonade, do you remember what year you joined the team?
Oh, I want to say 2003 was the official, like my first game.
Mm-hmm. I feel like there's some probably truth to that.
Yeah, it's a couple of years after we beat him.
On Cape Cod? Yeah. He likes to contest that, but we have the trophy. And so...
Do you surrender?
The idea is that we've done equals P, which is the name he sort of came with in the early days of internet shortcuts about how we end sentences and things like that. And that was the semicolon and the parenthesis.
The parenthesis, sorry, not the parenthesis, the equal sign and the
Oh, the equal sign, sort of like the, prior to the emoticon, it was the smiley face.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Equals P. Right. Oh, the tongue sticking out.
Exactly.
Right. And does anybody get to keep the name they come to the paintball team with?
No.
No.
Except for the three of us. Me, you, and Chucky. Well, no, Chucky changed his name.
But not by his choice.
Correct.
You guys gave me mine, and you earned yours.
Correct.
And equals P came with equals P.
Yeah.
And we wrestled with it for a long time until I manufactured a story about your college years and came up with lemonade. But that being said, I know that story. The story I want to know about lemonade is, can you tell us a little bit of the history of this? Which I believe you are the manufacturer of.
I am the manufacturer of this.
And it wound up in my possession via the closing of the team bunkhouse at our home paintball field many years ago, and has a home here in a particular section that is sort of appropriate for its gesture, because we have the hot chili gummy bear, the hot chili potato chip, and this truly awful bottle of liquor given to us in Chicago by some fellows. After we said thanks, they yelled, "You won't thank us later."
It was so true.
And they are absolutely correct. And though we can't tell you what it is, because then we'd have to drink more of it, we can promise you it's not whiskey. Lemonade, what's the story of this?
Oh, the story of this hand. It was, there was a certain team that marshals certain beliefs towards how the direction they believe paintball came from and where they believe it should go. So they have a hand similarly made, which this is the left hand. They had a hand with the right hand that was holding their logo up. And after a few run-ins with their team on various events, where we would defeat them solidly, that I created this for one of our upcoming events with them, to when we were eventually up on stage with them, receiving whatever awards were going to happen. I wanted to have this paired up next to their logo.
Are you trying to tell us, Lemonade, that this was a mocking tribute to somebody else's attempt at taking things so serious?
Oh, very much so.
Can I get a quiet high five? There's a reason that this young man transitioned from Equals P to Lemonade.
Actually, I will say probably out of all the players that we took on board on our team, Lemonade has probably had the biggest transition from being mild. He is like the Clark Superman.
Yeah.
He has two complete different personas.
It's almost like Clark Kent became the Joker.
Yes.
It wasn't even like on the same side. He just transitioned.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yes. Lemonade. I believe I know who you're talking about. I believe I know the circumstances that you reference. And it is fantastic that you did that prior to knowing us, because what it tells both Malcolm and myself is that what resides within you is what that we helped encourage to come out, right? And I think you found comfort in that, because you didn't retreat from the experience with us in pub crawling. You fully embraced this. Yes. Yes. So you weren't declaring somebody else was number one. You were telling them that you're number one.
That is correct.
That's fantastic.
Have
you ever heard that story before?
Yes.
I had never heard that full tale of its point of origin. That is fantastic. Well, now we know. And do you think it belongs with the hot chili pepper, the hot gummy bear, and the bottle of terrible booze?
Yes, I do. I believe it fits it.
It truly does belong there. Well, I'm just going to pull this back to the mat, and we're going to sort of get back to some whiskey.
All right.
All right.
So how is this going to work?
So what we have is the Ardbeg Perpetuum,
versus
a 2015 release, a limited edition. Here, a lighter liquor that you are proposing, the salted chocolate. We have the Ardbeg bunadh. I believe this is batch 54. Yes. Aberlour A bunadh, batch 54. They're now into the batch 70s.
Yes.
A darker Highland. This is an Islay. I'm going with the orange-infused chocolate. Lemonade. Which one would you like to try first? The Islay, which is well known for its seaside flavorings, though we're describing as a liquid chocolate cake, or the Aberlour A bunadh, which is a Highland malt, which is a sherry finish, very rich, a higher ABV.
Honestly, I am incredibly intrigued by the liquid chocolate cake.
Okay, so it's the Ardbeg Perpetuum. So you'll keep the lid on, young man?
I believe that's round one to me.
I'm feeling like, well, I guess it's not even alphabetical. Congratulations, Mr. Malcolm. Okay, so we've already declared, and we can all see clearly, a much lighter whiskey.
Which really goes back to really doesn't tell you the truth.
Very deceptive. Very deceptive. You and I know this to be true.
Correct.
This is a very deceptive whiskey. So we won't linger too long on the color. Hopefully everybody can see this. We have this probably falls into a very light amber. Any particular word come out for a color for you, Lemonade?
Light amber was the one that I had from the moment I saw it.
Yep. All right. Well, why don't we pull the lid, take a nosing. Buried in there is that Islay Seaside.
Yep.
Zero question. That smoky, peaty. That's what I talk about lemonade when I talk about the Islay Seaside.
Yes. Very much
Islay, of course, is an island, the Isle of Islay, right? So it's on the western coast of Scotland, the southwestern coast of Scotland, and it's a recognized region of Scotch whiskey production, predominantly known for peated, smoky whiskeys. So we're going to have a piece of that in here, but buried in here in the taste, pay attention to a liquid chocolate cake.
So we're going to try it neat first and then go with the chocolate?
Yeah, is there anything you want to say about it? This is your whiskey.
No, it's a winner.
All right. So I think we're at a 47.4, if I recall correctly.
Yep.
So this is going to have a little bit of strength. So don't go crazy. Spend some time up front. Bring it back slowly. And try to find some flavors. Wow. The smoke comes right out the nose. That chocolate rolls right back down. It's still amazingly pleasant.
And it's so smooth.
Very smooth.
That's what
Very
makes
smooth.
That's what makes this
And
ridiculous.
it resides here.
Right in here.
And it resides here, but not in a rejection kind of way.
No.
In a oh, I'm home again.
No, it gives you just enough to be like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
I'm here.
Right. Malcolm's perpetually been afraid of Islay whiskeys.
Yes.
And this has been one of the ones that really opened him up to, there's a lot more going on than seaside and campfires. Now, lemonade, what are you experiencing?
Honestly, right off the bat, I got that smoky and that peat.
Yeah.
That was incredibly strong to me.
Which is?
The rookie to me is I am not tasting the chocolate cake as it rolls down the back.
So I will allow that because tastes evolve, right? And so as you and I have reflected on our very early episodes, we really struggled to pick up flavors and just talked about, oh, that's really good, right? But struggled to sort of identify the flavors. Very common, right? And so what you're going to do now is take another small sip and sort of, now that you've adjusted to those dominant flavors, which are the traditional experiences of the Islay, now try and just sort of explore in your mouth, what else is going on with this glass of whiskey? Fair?
Fair.
Okay. That chocolate is so happening.
It's just as it kicks back on the back of your tongue,
Right.
it just hits you.
So let it right, and it's not like you just ate a piece of cake. We'll talk about like, oh, I just ate a piece of cake, but it's this subtle experience that's like, what is that flavor? Is that like a cream, a moist piece of chocolate cake, right? And don't fake it. It's okay.
Now that I was able, like as you said, to kind of got past the stronger flavors, I do feel the subtle chocolate.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. You were asking us to pair this with what?
The salt chocolate.
The salted chocolate, which is this one. So lemonade. Go ahead, grab a piece of that. And so, what we do is we eat the chocolate. Mostly let it dissolve completely in our mouth, but don't let it all digest. Right.
You want to coat.
Keep a bunch sort of that's become liquid, so to speak, or begun melting, and then add a small bit of the whiskey and let it marry together in your mouth. And then we'll talk about what that experience was like. This is really just a piece of chocolate with such subtle salt. And I appreciate your salt with the maritime whiskey.
Wow.
trying to sway the audience here.
Sorry.
It is an easy marriage. Do you feel, Lemonade, that we know where Malcolm stands? He's in the wow land. Do you feel that marriage of that salted 70% dark chocolate works well with this glass of whiskey?
It does, I believe. It does bring out the pop and the feel of the salt from the Islay region, as I hear you guys talking about, but also with the chocolate itself. It does tend to... It's weakened some of that overpowering flavor from the beginning.
No doubt.
Oh, I like how you're discussing how the chocolate is absorbing some of that peated smoke and allowing it to calm down and let this, and I'm speaking for you, so I get to be wrong, but allow that chocolate to spread out and become more of an experience.
I agree.
Yeah. See, I'm not rooting against you.
No.
Yeah.
I love this whiskey. You can't root.
Yeah, it's a great whiskey.
Both of these, actually, you can't root
You
against
should have never opened that. If I had another kid, that's like tuition.
No, choices.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think, and I've been, like I said, I've been wanting to do this since we've got into this accoutrements and whatnot. This has been one I wanted to revisit. So this format that we're getting into was like, this
is a good head-to-head. We're different regions, but we both wound up with a chocolate.
That's fantastic. It's fantastic without the chocolate. I think the chocolate makes it more palatable for a novice.
You know what I like about the chocolate and I like neophyte. Is that okay? What I like about chocolate and neophyte is it really sort of just immediately expands the expectation.
Okay, yeah.
Right, that it isn't just whiskey, that this is something more, right? And so people look around Lemonade, and we're about to get here, and you're like, you have hundreds of bottles of whiskey, isn't it all the same? And so all of a sudden, it's easy for you, even now, just with one bottle, to go, I don't think it's all the same. You're about to experience that. Because right off the bat, Lemonade, this Aberlour A, batch 54, 60.7% ABV, which is 121.4 proof.
Yes.
This is a significant
high test
bump up from this 47.4. So what this means is this liquid was essentially filtered for sediment only out of the cask and put straight into a bottle after spending years in a wooden cask in a warehouse in Scotland. And this is what it came out to, 60.7% alcohol. And we are going to spend some time looking for chocolate and citrus. And this is a sherry finish, Highland. And everything about this is natural. And this is Oloroso sherry, so this is going to be a sweet sherry finish as opposed to a dry sherry finish. I'm not trying to sway anything here.
No.
Yeah. Fair?
Fair.
Yeah.
I'll pull a card out if I have to.
Mm-hmm. Each batch. So the Perpetuum, this is a great match because the Perpetuum is not a regular release. It was a special release for the 200th anniversary of this distillery, 1815 to 2015. Each batch of bunadh is numbered and different. And so, as I said earlier, they're into the low 70s. So this is batch 54. This was released years ago, only opened recently by the luck of the magic box. Okay? Mm-hmm. All right. So right off, we have left light amber, and we are on that marriage of medium and dark amber. Would you agree, Lemonade?
I would agree with that, like a hint of rose almost.
Right. There is this element of ruby, amber. There's this red piece in here somewhere. And if you're familiar with a sherry, red makes sense. Excuse me.
Yes.
Anything you want to say about the coloration, Malcolm?
No, I think Lemonade's actually described it pretty well.
Yeah, I like the rose.
The rose actually was a pretty
That's good.
That's adds a little bit to it.
So I'll only say we're much higher alcohol, so be prepared on your nose. Okay? Lids. I know you're nervous now. The competitor in you just got nervous.
It's All Star versus All Star. It really is, and this is one of those ones where the whole way they've gone about bringing this to the table is just outstanding. And when you take your first whiff, you're like, wow.
So we're looking not only for the chocolate, but we're looking for hints of citrus in this one, Lemonade. And so, did you find that the nose was a little more potent than the last whiskey?
Actually, I was thinking the other way around.
Interesting.
I thought the nose was a little bit softer.
Okay. Again, hard to know where he's going to go.
Yeah.
All right. So we've got a rose, medium to dark amber whiskey.
Sherry cask.
Sherry cask. We're paying attention to chocolate and citrus. Lemonade. Shall we have a sip?
Cheers.
High alcohol. Be careful.
Now that we're on back to back with them, that chocolate experience is the exact same space, exact same place.
Halfway down the tongue?
Yes. Exact same place, you get that same freaking feeling.
I'm biased. I love it. It's exactly as I remember it. I recall it. There's a complexity in here due to the sherry and the natural aspects of all of this. But Lemonade, what are you experiencing on this first pull of this high ABV whiskey?
I didn't taste as much of the alcohol, which is opposite from the way the description is.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And compared to the first one, it's also not as overpowering with the initial brush of the flavor of the smoke and the peat. I'm not getting any of that.
Well, you should not be experiencing smoke and peat on this one.
Right.
This one, we should be paying attention to sort of a depth of sweetness, as well as sort of some of that, I hate to say medicinal, but this high alcohol element, but we won't be looking for smoke and peat in this one.
Yeah,
We'll be paying attention to a sort of a chocolatey, citrusy, sweet whiskey that has a bunch of punch to it. That's what we're at on this one.
I mean, this one is the sherry.
That's that sherry piece.
It's the sherry,
right, which is a very robust wine, right? It's a very substantial wine.
Yes.
Yes. So another sip. As it resides in the front, it just tickles the tongue, and as it comes back, it just expands all around. And some of that candied citrus is what I experience around the cheeks and into the top of the throat.
Yeah, and it's that vapor that comes back out that tells you it's ABV is up there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's another fantastic.
It is an excellent whiskey. So I have recommended an orange infused chocolate, which I'm sure you're going to take this huge piece. Oh, okay. This is an orange infused chocolate lemonade, which should pair nicely. You can taste that orange. Mm-hmm. Should pair nicely with this high ABV whiskey. When you're ready. I'm going to pull a card out of your book, Mal. That's really good. Just say it. Just say it.
Yeah. I mean, that's another fantastic pairing.
But Lemonade, where are you at? We know where we're at, right? Do you find that orange infused chocolate works well with this, or is in opposition to it? Where are you landing?
I do believe that the candy from the orange and the chocolate does seem to match the sweetness of the whiskey itself.
Yeah.
It's just fantastic.
This is a good experience, right? People would pay for this experience.
Yeah, I mean, it's also, you got to say, what I find with this one, and I'm going to just break it down, I'm not even going to compare it to that. What I find with this is, but when you have that chocolate and orange, because of the alcohol content in this, it fights it the entire way. Mm-hmm. But what the chocolate does is bring out those flavors.
It exposes some of the citrus or the chocolate in the liquor. And the whiskey doesn't dominate the chocolate.
Correct.
It's a good pairing. I think that we both picked a good pairing. And so I'm willing to take one more, and then we can ask our guest where he lands. And wherever he lands, we'll do a quick last little pour for our toast. The winning dram. Lemonade. You've had an Islay region, which is a Western coastal whiskey, an anniversary edition from 2015 that Mal and I have often referenced as a moist chocolate cake with a peat and smoke, which you clearly identified. I picked a Highland cask strength high ABV known for chocolatey citrusy notes, pairing it with a orange infused chocolate. Mal went with a sea salt chocolate. You're going to pick which whiskey we'll have for our toast goodbye. Which whiskey and pairing made the most sense? So you're off the hook here by not saying which whiskey was the best. You're on the hook for which whiskey and pairing made the most sense. The Islay and sea salt or the Aberlour and orange infused?
That is a tough decision. The Islay and the sea salt matched the salt in self in general. I felt was very strong, very good choice. But I am going to go with the Aberlour with the citrus because the sweetness on it matched the drink very well.
You paid him.
I will just say this. There was just a slight advantage to the high ABV and that orange infused chocolate, which you love that orange infused chocolate. And that chocolate presents itself so much as an orange chocolate.
Correct.
Whereas that sea salt chocolate is so subtle.
Yes.
And so I absolutely agree with you that we have the best pairing of the day. All right. And so if you've seen the episodes Lemonade, you know we end with a toast in a foreign language that the likelihood of us being fluent in is low, but we give it a go. And today we are visiting Germany. And in Germany, they have a phrase, 2 words apparently, which is essentially to your health.
Yep.
Which sounds something like, and we give it our best go, Lemonade on 3. 1, 2, 3. Zum Wohl. Lemonade.
So lame. That's the last time he comes on this show.
That was a great match. 2 chocolates, both high ABV, good recognition of flavors, good explanation of decision, and you can't disagree.
No, I can't.
Yeah, and if he had gone the other way and had started off with the Aberlour and the orange infused, and then he had gone to the sea salt really did the Islay, I'd have nothing to say.
No.
Right. This was a toss-up.
It was.
Yeah. Excellent job, Lemonade.
Yeah, no,
hey,
well
thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for having
That was
me.
good.
You're number 1.
Thank you. Number 1 as well.
No, that was great.
With a bearded man and a British guy.